Hey YouTube, welcome back to Vintage on Vintage. This is Steve, and today I want to share just a quick video, some recent pickups, and also a little story. As you can tell in the background, I love reading about sports. Although I will tell you, as I've been watching more videos, I've read a lot less. But the current book that I'm reading is this book right here, and it is called Tom Seaver, A Terrific Life by Bill Madden, and it's a fantastic book. And what I like about these books is it tells you stories about these players and some things you didn't know. Like, I didn't realize that Seaver, when he came out of high school, although he had a good high school career, he was a little undersized and he didn't get a scholarship or and didn't get drafted by the pros. So he went and did a stint in the Marine Reserve, I think it was, and then all along, knowing that he was going to come out 4 or 5 months later, he was going to go play junior college ball, and then eventually he wanted to play at USC. So he did. He went out, and after he went into junior college, he did so well that the Dodgers actually offered him $2,000 to sign with them. And as a Dodger fan, the idea of putting him in the rotation that had Koufax and Drysdale, wow. But he turned that down. And then after his first year at USC, the Dodgers again drafted him in the 10th round and offered him $2,000 again. His dad and he decided that wasn't enough to leave college. So he went back in, and in the 66 draft, he was drafted by the Atlanta Braves. And he was excited. The Braves had offered him $40,000 plus $11,500 to finish college. But what he was really excited about was he was going to get a chance to play with this guy who was his hero growing up, Henry Aaron. So he signed that contract, and he was going to be an Atlanta Brave. But what happened was Mr. Seaver, he ended up playing in 2 exhibition games that year at USC against Cal Poly and San Fernando State. He thought they were exhibition games because they were technically on his schedule. One of the other teams, and it later found out it was the Dodgers, brought it to the commissioner's attention, and he had to nullify that contract. And that put Seaver in a pretty big predicament, right? He had signed a pro contract, so he couldn't go back to SC, and he couldn't sign with the Braves. So he and his dad reached out to Commissioner William Eckert at the time and said, we got to figure something out here. And he did come up with a solution. What he said was he would reach out to the other 19 clubs, and any club that wanted to match the Braves offer of $51,500 in total, he'd put their name in a hat and he'd pull that out. And expectations were the Dodgers were going to be one of the teams, but they didn't actually get their name in the hat because at the time, Buzzy Bavasi was busy negotiating the holdout with Sandy Koufax and Don Drysdale. Dom, on his Solo Shot podcast, spent some time talking about that. It was a pretty important time in baseball, and it's a good one. So I recommend listening to Dom on his podcast because it's a great story about that. But I will tell you, the only teams that put their name in the hat were Cleveland, Philly, and then, of course, the Mets. And the Mets were pulled, and it's all history from there. But those are the kind of things I find really cool, especially, thinking about, like, what would have happened had he been a Dodger. But I know the Mets fans are grateful he didn't. So over Easter, I visited my sister in Minneapolis, and I went to a card show there. And I picked up 3 cards. The first was this Eddie Murray, and I always want to say Eddie Murphy, but it was an Eddie Murray rookie card. I've been wanting to add one of these to the collection. He was a great ball player. Sammy, SFI Sports Card, on one of his videos, spent some time talking about just how good Eddie was. So I'd recommend looking that up. But the guy had over 3,000 base hits, 500 home runs. I think he had 1,900 RBIs. So this one, it's in pretty good shape. It's got a little bit of a jagged cut up here. By no means is it high end, but it's fairly well centered, which is hard to find. He's arguably one of the top 2 or 3 pinch hitters or switch hitters, not pinch hitters, switch hitters of all time. Right there with Mantle, with Rose. He was a great one. So pick that one up. Then for $15, I picked up this Henry Aaron 1970 All-Star. And I think these cards are really underrated. I'm a big Aaron fan, trying to make a run on the Aaron collection. I just got back the Jackson of these, and this one looks to be about the same condition, about the same centering, and his came back at a 6, so I think this has an opportunity of being a 5 or a 6, and it's a Henry Aaron card, which I'm a big collector of Aaron, so. And then the last one I picked up at that card show was this, and this is the 1955 Henry Aaron, so it's a second year Henry, and when you look at the front, right, got a little bit of a wrinkle or crease there, some beat up there, but the picture itself looks really, really good. Now, when I flip it over, you're gonna see some paper loss here. Don't worry about that. That sticker's on the inside card saver, so it'll come off. But this right here was the reason I was able to pick this card up really cheap. But I'm excited, right? It's the second year Henry Aaron, and I was really happy to take a shot at getting this one in my collection. I'll probably send it into SGC. My expectation is, it'll come back a 1 because of the paper loss, but still love the card. The last card I want to share with you guys, I won on eBay, and this is the first of these I've had. I've seen other people, and it's this. It is this I'm trying to get this into the camera because it's such a big card. Let me play with that a little. There we go. It is a 1964 Topps Giant, and it's the Roberto Clemente in a 5.5, and I just love this card. I think, if the centering's a little off, otherwise this thing's a 7 or an 8, but it's just a beautiful picture of Clemente. They're cool cards. It was on an eBay auction. I put my price in and I won it. I was pretty happy with the price I got it for. Gorgeous card. All Clemente cards are great cards, but I was really happy to add this one to the collection. So there you have it. That's what I picked up. That's my story. I really appreciate y'all listening and taking the time to watch. If you like it, please hit the like button. It'll help draw more people to the channel. Otherwise, once again, I appreciate you watching. Stay safe, keep collecting, and we will talk to you soon.